All good? Nice to see you again. So, we're going to get right to our next... did they actually take my... They took my notes. Are my notes on there? Excuse me? Excuse me? Could you bring me my notes? Just the... exactly. That'd be fantastic. So what are we getting into now? The MindSphere Open Space Challenge, ladies and gentlemen. And this is something you don't want to miss. So if you're standing outside now, thank you very much. Best to come right in, because now we're going to basically have different developer teams pitch for the chance to win an assignment with a global player who is looking for a solution. And it was basically an open invitation to all developers out there to say, hey, we have a use case, we have a client, he's looking for a solution. Do you have a solution? So real use cases, real developers, real solutions, and we're going to bring them together on stage. And the great thing is we have different teams. Everybody has a different solution, and our client is going to be able to choose who he thinks fits best. All right? And this live right now here for you. Not only here for our audience, but we'll also stream it live. You also have the chance to actively participate, and that means you can vote for your favorite team. When you see them on stage and say, hey, this looks great. Their idea is great. The presentation is great. I think this could work. You can vote for them. And our jury, of course, is going to have the last word. And you at home can vote also. Go to siemens.com/vote now, but I'll be getting into that as we go along. Now, the most important part, how is this going to run down? I'm going to introduce the client in a couple of moments. After that, I'm going to introduce the jury. And after that, we're going to go into the actual pitches. Each pitch, each team has 15 minutes time, 7 minutes to present, 8 minutes Q&A, and after that, the next team is up. So first of all, who are we dealing with now? Who is our client? We're talking about Rittal. And the Rittal GmbH and Co. KG is a global player when it comes to electrical engineering and IT infrastructure. About 10,000 employees, 2.2 billion turnover. And we're going to play a short video to give you an impression. Let's go for it.
Our world is interconnected, linking countries and continents. Digital technology allows us to communicate across borders, between people and machines. Communication between machines involves exchanging data. This is the heart of the Internet of Things. The Rittal IoT interface continuously communicates all operating data and statuses from the Rittal cooling unit, for example, to the control center of your production plant. This speeds up your maintenance processes. These data flows provide vital information on all relevant parameters of the Rittal cooling unit. Malfunctions are identified early on, and failures are prevented before they can occur. By interconnecting with all other Rittal components in your production line, the IoT interface boosts overall efficiency and cuts operating costs. What is more, the Rittal IoT interface also communicates with all other systems in your plant. This accelerates data flows while also making your production more flexible. Rittal IoT interface. Increase your machine availability with smart data use.
That is our client, ladies and gentlemen, and please welcome from Rittal, here is Judith Kutsch. Hi, Judith. So, nice of you to join us.
Well, thanks for having Rittal.
How do you feel?
Good.
Excited?
Excited, yeah.
Huh?
Looking forward to the ideas.
I think this is a great opportunity. On the one side, of course, for you as a client, but also for the developers. Now, maybe you could tell us a bit about Rittal. We just saw the video, but give us some more facts.
Sure. Well, you pointed out some of the company facts. Rittal is a global manufacturer and provider of solutions for industrial enclosures, for power distribution, climate control products, IT infrastructure, but also software and services. And especially in the area of climate control, we have engineered a lot of new products in the past couple of years that are much more energy efficient, but are also capable of communicating, sending relevant data. So with our Bluey Plus generation of climate control products, We didn't just make them more efficient, but we also made them smart and intelligent. You just saw this video as an intro on the IoT interface that enables these products to communicate, send relevant data, and set us up for services that we can offer.
And tell us a bit about yourself real quick. What do you do at Rittal exactly, and how long have you been with the company?
Well, I've been with Rittal for 17 years now, so quite a bit.
Right.
And I'm currently responsible for business development and product management for our after-sales service. So that's why I'm very interested in driving the whole topic of predictive maintenance and understanding how we can help the user of our product much more.
So what was your actual challenge, or what are you looking for here now?
Well, the challenge, and I brought a little video to explain that a little better. I did mention our climate control products. So basically, the target group or the user of these products is a typical maintenance manager in a production plant. So as you can see here in the little simplified visualization, in our example, the plant manager, Clemens, he wants his productivity to be up. He wants everything in the production side to run. So in our example here, if his productivity is down, he's got a problem. So in this example here, he's very reactive. He's identifying that there's an issue in one of the enclosures. The equipment, maybe some Siemens equipment, is overheating because the air conditioner is not working or running properly. And of course, that's what we want to solve. We want to be proactive about any failures that are coming up. So we want to avoid what's just happening here, productivity going down. And our idea is to offer smart maintenance. So our IoT-ready products that have a lot of sensors inside, they have all this information. And with a combination, with a platform such as MindSphere, for example, it's possible to be proactive and know about the health of our equipment beforehand. So with the idea or the concept of smart maintenance, it's possible for the user to remotely monitor the equipment, understand what's going on in terms of health of the equipment, do systematic failure analysis, be predictive, and be much more efficient when it comes to the complete maintenance process. And of course, at the end of the day, for the user, plant manager or maintenance manager, for example, it's all about OEE, increasing productivity, increasing efficiency, machine availability. We want everything to be up and running and not to be down. And of course, reduce cost as well. And for this use case we just explained, we are looking for even better solutions in terms of standardizing the data collection. Then, of course, the analysis of the data, because we don't want big data, we want smart data that helps us to be predictive. Then, of course, to visualize everything and make it easy to use that as a tool for the user of the product. And, of course, to connect it to a platform such as Siemens MindSphere to make it readily available.
All right, so thank you very much for this very comprehensive overview of what you expect and what the actual problem is. So you can take a seat now with the rest of the jury. Thank you very much, Judith. And I'm going to introduce the rest of the jury here, just so you know who is going to be evaluating later on. We have Mr. Daniel Kronen over here. Daniel Kronen is a so-called pitch professor. He is a true startup expert, as the founder of many companies himself, is a lecturer, entrepreneur, and just really a passionate guy, and is always excited when he hears the word startup. He's there. Is that correct?
Perfectly worded. Thank you so much.
Nice to have you with us. Then also from Siemens MindSphere, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Steven Bachado. Nice to have you. Great that you're here today. Also from Siemens MindSphere, Lucia Wagner. And ladies and gentlemen, from Next 47, which you probably also know, from Siemens, a part of Siemens, is Jörn Warmuth. Nice to have you with us also. So, your job will be later on to, of course, ask some tough questions. All right, give them the grind, let them go through that. That's also part of the deal. But first of all, we want to get our first team on stage now. Like I said before, they have 15 minutes, 7 to present, and 8 afterwards for questioning. And the first team is Trevisto. So please welcome Alexander Etemis and Oliver Fuhrmann.
Hello.
Welcome,
Hi.
welcome. And you out there, you can give them a big round of applause. This is not easy, all right? Give them the feeling of, yes, we're there for you, support. So, welcome, gentlemen. Trevisto. Maybe tell us or give us 2 or 3 facts about the company.
Yes, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Oliver Fuhrmann from Trevisto AG. We are a consulting company based in Nuremberg and Berlin, and we are specialized in IT, especially from strategy to implementation, and we are the data specialists. We concentrate on data analytics and making use of artificial intelligence for optimizing processes.
And what is your role?
I'm in business development for Trevisto AG.
Business development. On the other side, we have Alex.
I'm a data scientist,
Yeah.
and yeah, I'm crunching the data.
Okay. How do you feel being on stage now?
Yeah, it feels a little bit weird. It's quite weird to hear your own voice echoing.
Right.
And it's so noisy here, you can't, I mean, if you don't have the mic on, you can't even hear yourself talking.
That is true, but you know what?
Right.
You blend it all out. They're not even there, all right?
Yeah.
This is just you and your partner and the jury, and you're going to have a nice little conversation, all right? So, your time is now. Go for it.
Thank you. So I'm going to present our solution for Rittal, and first of all, I'm going to quickly tell you in a nutshell what I'm going to be talking about. So basically, the core of our solution is that we're going to do predictive maintenance in a different way, in a way which differs from traditional approaches to predictive maintenance. And secondly, on top of that, so by doing predictive maintenance in a different way, we pave the way for an algorithmical prioritization of your maintenance appointments. That would be the second building step, the building stone. I just want to point out that Trevisto AG is not a blank page when it comes to deep learning and applying deep learning to industry problems. We did projects in the past, prediction, and that's just here to tell you that we're not a blank page. But now let's come to our solution. I want to start by pointing out to you the advantages of our solution to you. That's going to be from a technical point of view. And it's very important for you to know that our solution does not need labeled data. If you do know about machine learning, then you know that you need a data record, and you need to have some metadata, some label describing what happened at that point. So you have your sensor data, your timestamp, and you have to know what happened with your machine at that point in time to apply traditional machine learning approaches. You need to have a historical track record of your machine failures. With our solution, you don't need that. You won't need that. You will be able to, without having that long history of your failures, you will be able to apply our solution. Our idea for predictive maintenance, in a nutshell, is to come up with a score that summarizes your machine's condition in one single score. It encapsulates the machine condition in one score and lets you easily tell how your machine is doing, whether your machine is healthy or whether your machine is not healthy, whether it needs to be serviced or doesn't need to be serviced. The advantage of having one single score indicative of machine health is that you can rank your many machines, and you can see quickly which machine needs attendance, which machine you have to attend to. So you are going away from your sensor data level, where you have dozens of sensors that you have to look at and that you have to keep an eye on. That's just a processal view of what we're going to do. So we're going to collect sensor data, obviously, or you're going to do that for us. We're going to calculate that one score, which is indicative of machine health. This score is going to be fed into a dashboard where you will be able to assess your machinery and see how your machinery is doing, how volatile it is behaving, how machine condition is deteriorating or not deteriorating. And that's the first part of the solution, because I've been talking about a two-tiered solution. Once you have that score, once you can see how your machines are doing with that score, you can add to this information what your technicians are doing, where they're going, where they're doing maintenance, and you can then algorithmically prioritize which appointments to do first. So you can have an algorithmical prioritization of your maintenance appointments. That's going to be the second step. So that magical score that I'm talking about, what is it? So we're going to have a deep neural network, and you'll have a newly serviced machine. It's very important. It's very important to have a newly serviced machine which is in good condition, where we have done our maintenance and where we have our technicians who can tell us that machine is a good one. It's working how it's supposed to work. You will, now it's important to look at the circle. You will have your data coming in. Look at the circle. The data will come in, and with the data coming in, we will be able, with our neural network, with our deep learning, to establish what constitutes a normal condition. We'll establish what is normal for a machine. Once I've established what is normal for a machine, I take that model. I have learned what is normal. I take that model. I have a running machine, and I have the sensor data coming in. That sensor data is being fed into our model, into our deep learning model. And again, we see that our data is coming in. Look at the circle. The data is coming in. But now the data, our machine, you can see the yellow dot over there, has gone beyond what is normal. Our underlying sensor data has changed. And the machine, the data that comes from our machine, moves further away from what is considered normal. And again, it moves further away from what is considered normal, and that is our machine condition score. So look at the distance between the center of the green circle and where our dot representing our machine condition is now. So we establish it via the distance. And that gives you the ability to monitor your machines over time and to see how its condition is changing and how fast it is changing. So coming to the dashboard part of our solution, once you have that score, as I told you, you can then rank your machines. And this ranking, as you can see here, is by the machine's deviation from its normal state. So you will have a list of your machines. Maybe you have hundreds of machines. And the bar length here indicates how far your machine is from your normal condition. And the longer the bar gets, the worse it is. The red line here indicates that you have where you've had failures in the past. You can connect this information with geo-information, and then, for instance, if you have, we also have our rate of change of that machine condition score. And once you know how fast the machine is changing and how bad it is doing, you can then decide on the map whether, for instance, you want to do 2 maintenance appointments at one time. If you have one machine which is doing average and one which is really bad, and you know the one which is doing average changes really fast, you can then combine these appointments, for instance.
We can give you 30 more seconds.
You have the underlying machine data, which lets you drill in and see why a machine condition score is bad. So you will be able to come back to the original data. That information, what your service technicians have done in the past, your machine condition score, your rates of change will allow you to, at one point in time, prioritize algorithmically your maintenance appointments. That's going to be a second step, but you'll have to gather data first. Your advantages are obvious. It's cost reduction. It's maybe an increased customer satisfaction due to less failures, and you'll be able to improve service level agreements. But you can decide what's going to be your advantages. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you also, Alexander from Trevisto. Sorry for the pressure here at the end.
Yeah, it was.
We got to keep it fair for everybody. 7 minutes presentation time. So we'll get Oliver on stage also for some questioning. Now, thank you very much. I like the clear pictures. The structure of the presentation is what I really enjoyed. What about the jury? You probably have some questions.
Yes, thank you very much for the presentation. First question I have, will you be the team lead?
Probably.
How probable?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Will he be the team lead?
We're having a team of about 40 employees, and if it comes to a project like this, I think we have a project group of about 6 or 10 employees who are working for a project like that one. Yeah.
And I understand...
Depends on the size of the production sites and so on. Yeah.
Okay. And I understand this is something you've done before, right? You're industry veterans. So how much does this deviate from your core product? How proven is it?
We had always projects in the past which dealt with predictive scenarios. Yeah? For instance, in the industry, when it comes to optimize order entry processes, or if you want to monitor the product quality, we had an example and reference case in terms of film production, and if you can predict how the quality will be, at the end of the day you'll be having a better solution than your competitor.
So we've done deep learning. We've implemented this thing here, but we've implemented it in our kind of lab to test it. Our deep learning solutions deviate because they were more traditional deep learning solutions, but that one, it has not been tried in the industry yet. But we've tried it in our lab, and it's a way to go forward. And that's why it's special, because it deviates from what's normally done.
Dude, I can see you're super passionate about this.
Yeah.
I like that. Okay, let's move it over. What does our juries think? What do you think?
Well, thanks for the presentation. Very interesting. I have a question regarding the machine score that you came up with. How long does it typically take to come up with the normal condition? So you have that as part of your system, and you can actually evaluate once or when you're deviating from the normal score.
Well, it's a really good question that can't be answered easily. Normally, I mean, we would need a technician who can certify that the machine is running normally. Once you have that, and you actually not that much data would be needed to establish how a machine works. So it would be able to. I mean, I think it would be rather quickly. So we don't need much time for that. It's just about the condition that somebody says, okay, that machine is running fine, and we take a data sample of, for instance, 1 day or 2 days. I don't know how fast your machines are changing their condition, how fast they're deteriorating, but if they're not going bad so that quickly, so if they're maintained probably every 6 months, then if we get 2 days, 3 days of records after the machine has been serviced, we can train on that. So there is no lengthy training or data gathering involved.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Stephen has a question.
Okay, a couple of questions. First, help me with your differentiators. It seems like a lot of people could do the same thing.
Well, I think it's a resourceful solution. I don't think that predictive maintenance is done in that way in the industry. There have been a lot of many people have tried to do predictive maintenance using labeled data, as I've pointed out before, and that didn't work because the approach with labeled data, so where you have a history of failure, and then have that meta information, try to learn from that, that didn't work because the reasons why a machine failed, they differ all the time, and failures are very, they occur rarely in many industries, and therefore it didn't work. And I think that our solution is a good one. So it's a different kind of neural network, and I don't think that everybody would be able to do it because it requires some good understanding of neural networks, and also you need to be able to. There's a lot of tuning involved, and we are able to. We have a kind of algorithm to tune our neural networks, so that we don't need so it's about finding the right architecture also in deep learning, and we can do that very well. So that would be one differentiator comparison to other.
My last question is a business question.
Yeah.
How scalable is this? I mean, you're really describing a very specialized capability in a very tuned environment in order to be able to execute a service. I mean, how many services can you do? How many companies? I mean, what's the scalability factor here?
Well, we have an ideal scenario of a machine running in an optimal way. And if we have this standard, then comparison to other machines and other production sites is relatively easy. And so in terms and with the MindSphere solution together, it is highly scalable. Yeah? So if you have a standard, and then you can observe the deviation from the standard.
I mean, scalability is more. It's more a tech. It's up to the. It's up to technology. The scalability. The solution you're implementing does not have to. I mean, it doesn't have to do with manpower, but it's about the underlying technology and how scalable it is, and it scales with the platform.
Yeah. Let me be clear. I'm sitting here saying to myself, do I need 5 of you, or 50 of you, or 500 of you?
Yeah, you'd rather need 5 to 10 of us, not 500, because once you establish the process, you can apply it and multiply it. Yes.
Okay. I thought it was a business-related question. So if we talk about scalability, we just have to start at some point. What would be your proposal to Rittal? How should they start this new business model and offer it to their customers?
We're starting with a proof of concept scenario. So we have really to have some workshops together in order to understand the business process itself in a better way. And then we go on and move forward and implement it at one site, for instance, at one machine, and go on. And if we have seen so much data that we can say this is the standard, then we can go on and automatically pass.
Then it's easily multipliable once you've established.
Let's start with a proof of concept. Yeah.
We'd have time for one more question.
Okay, regarding technology again. So how do you learn what is more or less important in terms of a sensor going out of the normal? Because this, for your prediction, is key. And for saving costs is key.
I see where you're going there, and that's a really good question. My answer to that would be that you have to talk to a technician who knows the machine well in order to only tap into sensor data, which could indicate failure. So you only tap into the sensor data that really directly has a direct, strong correlation with failure. So the key points. But you have to talk to a machine, to somebody who knows the machine well, to somebody who has built the machine probably, who can tell you these 5 sensors, for instance, are the ones where we're going to see some flux, some deviation, some volatility once the machine goes beyond what's normal. So you'd have to identify it through one technician.
Yeah. All right, and we could get into more detail, but the time is up. So why don't we give them a big round of applause? Our first presenting team on stage, Trevisto, Oliver and Alexander. It wasn't that bad now, was it?
Yeah, it was okay.
They didn't eat you up. Well, nice guys here in the audience. So thank you very much for going up first as the first team. And this is also your chance to vote. If you think, hey, Trevisto, I like the idea, I like the presentation, go to siemens.com/vote now. And by the way, you can also do that. I think we have some little flyers laying around exactly with a QR code. Scan the QR code. It'll lead you right to the site to vote. Now, what are you voting for? Well, it's again the best team from your perspective. And you will be sending this team to the next MindSphere conference, which will take place in Berlin in September. And there, this team will also have the chance to present their ideas, their company once again. So thank you, Trevisto.
Thank you very much.
Much luck. So we're going to move on to the next team. But first, Daniel, maybe you can give us one or two, is there like a golden book of rules when it comes to pitching, when it comes to being an entrepreneur? I mean, you're the expert here.
Well, there's always, well, first of all, entrepreneurs love breaking rules. So there's not maybe the perfect rule, but
Right.
something I've seen very often. What I find the most important is having people who are really passionate about what they do, and have a deep understanding, but even more, a deep will to change whatever they want to.
Oops, yeah.
At the same time, it's highly important to be able to communicate that, to have someone who becomes dedicated in selling the idea, not exiting the company, but being able to communicate why are you doing what you do,
Right.
and at the same time exactly understanding what does the customer want, and being able to answer and speak in the language of the customer, that the customer goes and says, yes, that's exactly what I want, at the same time being open to learn. And most importantly, especially the young entrepreneurs, they will meet so many experts that have so many smart opinions. Still stick to your guns, know what you're doing, and just follow on through.
So if you're watching now, everybody, developers, entrepreneurs, future influencers, whoever you are, yeah, Pitch Professor Daniel just said it. So we're going to come over to our next team. They're standing on the sidelines now from WhatX, ladies and gentlemen. Please welcome Katja Jeracek, Pedro Sa, and Marcin Balinski. Katja, nice to have you. Pedro, Balin. So, you guys look like you are ready to attack. Am I right?
Totally.
Totally. Okay, tell us a bit about WhatX. Where are you from?
WhatX is based in Berlin.
Okay.
And it's also part of Wiesmann Group. We are a deep tech company builder that builds deep tech companies to solve industrial problems.
Okay.
And we tackle these problems on different levels. So for IT, so here's Martin. He's head of IT. Also with data science, we have a really strong team that builds different models based on this data. And we have a really strong user-centric approach. That's why we have a UX team for research and for design. And I'm actually representing a venture development team. So,
I see. You're
so the
very
business side,
experienced,
yeah.
also experienced in talking and presenting, which is very good. Your position is? What are you?
So I'm an IoT engineer. I work both on the hardware and the software side of things. Yep.
So are you excited now? Is this the moment you've been waiting for?
Exactly.
It is. Our jury also, they're ready to go. So 7 minutes of presentation for WhatX. Go for it.
Okay. So let's jump to the challenge. I want to show you about the goal of the challenge. So it was to build a central application that is using the MindSphere infrastructure to reduce downtime of end user systems, enable remote condition monitoring, improve retail after-sales service, also add cross-device evaluation support, and enable asset management. So this is what we proposed, our solution, the overview of it. So just to give you more visual on this. So we have a customer's premise where the Rittal's enclosures are installed, and these enclosures, they consist of different components, such as IT power, coolers, or UPS system, and so on. So all these components, they should be connected to the AI box that is collecting all the data from these devices, can also detect all the devices automatically, and later on sends everything to the cloud from MindSphere. All the data are sent in the efficient manner, and based on the data later on, we can build different data models that can offer preventive maintenance, fault detector, or configurator for the maintenance. I will later on explain all the components. So afterwards, we have the information presented in the dashboard, and different information can be presented to different users. Main stakeholders here are the end users and the technicians that they service the product. So about the AI box, it's a device that automatically discovers these components in real time. It constantly collects data about this efficient transferring. Why is it efficient? Because it sends only compressed changes in information. It can be also equipped with the GSM modem. And these AI boxes can be combined into clusters to enable management of multiple devices. About the dashboard. So as I mentioned, a user-centric approach, we make sure that the dashboard serves the needs of the user who are working on it. For the user side, for example, we can have the visualization about the current stage of each device and provide parameters that are applicable to different parameters. Also present historical data as well as send notifications according to the user. For example, some users, they just want to have information about the unusual behavior and then to be notified about it. From the Rittal side, we can present different statistics and metrics, what is important from their point of view, what KPIs they would like to see. We listed here a couple of them, like mean time between the failure or mean time to repair. Based on all the information, we can also generate reports that include information as service request predictions. So we, for example, can be prepared what level of particular components they need to be on stock. So we have this information upfront. About the model. So first part is about preventive maintenance. So we want to generate recommendations for the user. It could be, for example, part replacement, where we already inform before some failure happen that you're supposed to replace this component or a part of it. Also, recommendation about the software updates to more stable versions, as well as cleaning or just run diagnostic tests. Another thing is about prediction. So we can detect unusual activity on device and predict the failure. We can do it in. We can predict also the time when it happens. We can identify the case, so dive deeper into the details, and based on this information also adjust the model. So whatever is important for us, we can always change it, like thresholds, or we add external data to the system. From the Rittal side, of course, they have access to all the users or all the clients' information. So they build the model. They create it based on statistics from multiple customers. They have the general overview, but they can inspect every use case. So to really dive deeper to find the actual reason for a fault, and of course they can also adjust the rules for the maintenance. So what benefits this offers? So the most important one is the reduced downtime. So by implementing preventive and predictive maintenance, we can majorly reduce the downtime. We also have the effective asset management, so we can predict the asset planning. We have the monitoring, remote monitoring, so we know at any time any information about any device in any place, and this leads to the continuous quality improvement. And how we want to do it? So we start with the proper user experience research. So it's very important for us to have the interviews with all stakeholders. We were presented only this one-pager, so in order to build the real solution, we would really interview different stakeholders. We'll identify opportunities areas, and also think about the adjacent use cases, because we can maybe work on one, but they will be quite easy to develop some adjacent solutions. And on the tech side, we will do the proper research of what is current technology in use, and we will also make a prototype about the hardware and software, what we want to use. So that was it. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Right on time here, Kata. Why don't we join Kata to the middle of the stage? Nice presentation. I like the last part also, where they talk about the next steps. Clear to see they know what to do next. What is your question?
Well, thank you very much. My first question is, so I Googled you while you were talking, and I found out you have a team of about 25 plus.
Yeah.
Tell me about how's your company structured, who owns the company? Yeah.
So we are part of Viessmann. We are funded by Viessmann, and when we, for example, develop different businesses, it also Visman backs it up. And about the structure of our company, so we have different teams that they work very closely together. It's a tech that works on both hardware and software solutions, so we can provide we can build in-house prototypes of different products. So we have all resources available. We also have a UX team that starts with the UX research and later on designs the solution, so it's really applicable to the user and serves its needs. We have a data science team that is also working on multiple different projects, so they're quite experienced and they're gaining more experience with every new project.
And are you 100% Visman or?
Yes.
Okay. So no owners, no founders who have stakes in the company?
No. I mean, when we work on different projects, at some point we may decide that we want to build a separate venture, and then like the entire process, and different process starts. But when we are still at Visman, it's 100% Visman.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Any other questions?
Any questions? You have the microphone, so go for it, Jan.
So talking about Visman, does Visman use this solution? And if yes, how do they like it?
Visman doesn't use this solution at the moment, but we are prototyping something very similar, which we can't really disclose much detail. But we already have a customer that's gonna be ready to test it very soon. The problem is slightly different. It's around quality control. But the AI box, as we presented it, pretty much can be used for a very wide variety of use cases.
Thank you. Lucia.
So what I really liked about your presentation is the focus on the business case. Thank you for that. So my question is, you're owned by Visman, sorry for that again, but what's the percentage? Are you working only for Visman or also for external partners or external customers?
So we develop projects in-house that we make a research about different problematics, and if we decide it's worth working on it, we will then move it further. So it's like an in-house project, but we also offer something called company building as a service. So we also work with external partners where we provide our expertise on different areas, and we can also help partners to build the solutions.
Okay.
Thank you. Steve.
Steve.
Yes. How would you monetize this? Is this a SaaS offering? Is it a product sale? What is it?
I guess this particular case, we're gonna fit it to Rittal's needs. If you ask in general, as I said, this concept of AI box could possibly be used in a very, very wide variety of use cases. Like whenever you need artificial intelligence to aid you with some analysis, maintenance, predictive maintenance. That's a fit.
Further questions? You did?
Yeah, one question from my side. Well, first of all, very comprehensive presentation. So I really like that you looked at our use case, you know, from really the starting point to the end. Also, your background, the experience, well, doing projects for Visman, that is comparable to what we do at Rittal when it comes to our end users. But one question I have regarding connectivity to MindSphere. Do you have any experience in working on solutions that also can be run on MindSphere?
No, so we actually just learned about MindSphere a few weeks ago. We do see a lot of potential on using MindSphere, especially with gathering data from other sources. So in the case of Rittal, you'd have, for example, the HVAC system that would also be connected to MindSphere. And you could develop a Mind app and leverage the data that's already in your MindSphere account, sort of. So that's where we see the most potential in actually leveraging the data from other data sources to improve our model and improve actual business value.
Any other questions from the jury?
Jan.
So is the AI box existing for this other customer or in general?
It's
And how much does
work
it
in
cost?
progress. It's work in progress. How much does it cost? You can use different kinds of hardware to support it. So what we're trying to do is we're gonna try to cover, like, we're gonna aim for covering from like 100 euros to what's the max? I can't remember.
You could go
one for 400,
yeah.
right?
But I mean, it really depends on your use case. For the project that we have right now, we actually do need to make quick decisions. So we actually need a capable machine. In the case of Rittal, when you're actually predicting events that might happen in a few days or a few weeks, you don't actually need that much computing power. You need to be able to run your neural networks, but you don't need, it's not a very time-sensitive operation. So the hardware can actually be kept at a very low cost.
I have one question regarding the AI box. You said it's work in progress. Are we talking 20% complete? Are we talking 90%? And give us a time frame.
20%.
That's honest, okay. And how long do you think will it take until it's operational?
What would really help us is to exactly get some more use cases, because every single time when you work with the real client, you can progress much faster, right? How long will it take in order to make it in a product ready for market? I have no idea at the moment, because still, yes, we see an opportunity there, but so far we've been only talking to one company, and we are doing it with them. So I have no idea. Like, probably in half a year, we're gonna have the first use case with ready. Commercialize it. We actually still haven't really thought of it. Somewhere in here.
I'm liking the honesty. I'm happy. Any other questions? You have one. Go for it.
We have one more.
Last one from my side. Just how long do you estimate you would need to really do a prediction? So for a predictive maintenance?
I guess it all depends on what kind of data and how fast we can get from you, and how much can you help us with understanding it. The prediction and building model is relatively easy and fast. If you have the right data and if you have the right experts to help you to make sense out of them, would you say it's a matter of weeks?
I'd agree, yeah.
Yeah.
Looking at the time is up. Looking at the jury, they're nodding their heads. They're like, okay, we have everything we need to know. So why don't we give it one more time for WattX, ladies and gentlemen. Kata, Pedro, and Masin, great job. Much luck. And if you would like to know more about the companies just presented here on stage, we had Trevisto before. They're still over here. Why don't you wave at us? Great to have you. They have a table. WattX has a table over here. If you'd like to know more about what they do, feel free to go over and ask anything you want to know. Also, once again, your chance to vote now. Go to Siemens.com/vote now if you think WattX was the team, had the solution. Daniel, once again, you as the pitch professor. Now, when you go and create new ideas or start founding companies, how often do you get to a point where you're like, you know what, I'm just going to throw this into the trash and just do something else?
Oh, well, about 20 times a day. The trick is to, well, follow up the whole time. And to kind of take a step backwards, my learning is if we're talking early stage startups, well, I'd say about 90% don't make it.
Right.
That's important. 90.
Right.
But that's important because a startup is based just on a hypothesis. Someone's saying, I'm assuming for this non-proven product, there might be a market sometime. So the trick is to do it as quickly as possible, to come to that point as quickly as possible. And we heard all of them say, well, we have to talk to the customer. We have to develop with the customer. And that's the true startup spirit. Not taking too long, but to go right there to learn from the customer and develop it together. So that's the whole trick, and that's the way it should be done.
All right. Thank you very much, Daniel, once again. So now, moving on to team number 3, last team in this competition, in the challenge for Rittal, is Smart Plants. Please welcome Greg Kowal. Greg. All right. Now, you've been watching from the sidelines the two challenges before. How do you feel going in now? Are there things you say, hey, that was pretty good, I'm going to take that for my presentation, or you're just going to go your own way?
I was trying to actually focus on this, what I'm going to say.
Okay.
on my own presentation. Don't lose what is the main point of this, what I want to achieve while being here.
Perfect.
A little bit excited and stressed as well, to be honest.
Oh, don't be stressed. Don't be stressed. Like I said before, this is your opportunity. This is the chance. I understand, but there's no need to. These, like I said, they're nice. The audience is nice. Everybody's here to listen to you.
We are just about to find out, right?
We're about to find out. One or two more infos about smart plants. Where are you from?
We are from Norway, from Stavanger, southwest of Norway. We have also offices in Amsterdam and in Paris.
All right, and what do you do at Smart Plants? Is this your company?
What we are doing, we are bridging the...
No, you exactly, you specifically. What do you do?
I'm a product evangelist.
Evangelist, all right.
Evangelist, product evangelist.
Right. Okay, you can get right into your presentation now. I see you're ready to go. 7 minutes.
Thank you very much. Good morning. My name is Greg Kowal. Like I said, I'm a product evangelist and Smart Plant. Today I have a pleasure to present our project, our smart maintenance of cooling devices for electronic enclosures. In Smart Plants, what we are doing, we help companies on their digital transformation journey. So we help them to understand what possibilities they have with their legacy equipment, and then we guide them step by step towards Industry 4.0. Today we are solving the problem that cooling devices are not data-driven. They are not connected with each other. They are not communicating with users. They are not communicating with technicians. If you look more into the details, we'll see that there is no data visualization. There is no insight into device performance. There is no asset management. There is no efficiency reports. There is no remote condition monitoring, and no remote capability whatsoever. And this is what we are going to change. Our solution is digital twin. We have already implemented it into our main products in a smart factory where we create a digital twin of manufacturing machines, and in a Clever, our platform for smart and autonomous buildings. In both cases, we extract the data from many different machines, from many different devices, from many different sensors, and we present it on one dashboard. We also analyze the data. We present uptime, downtime, many KPIs. We generate reports. We provide the insight into the data which is needed by a customer. We will use our experience to solve this problem. We will solve it in 4 steps. First, we will extract the data wirelessly through our Clever, and then we will consolidate the data on a secured cloud-based platform when we transfer the data into actionable information, or in other words, the information that will suggest what actions to take. Then we will provide this information remotely to users, to technicians, in form of simple information or easy to understand instructions. This is the journey we are offering to our customers every day, the journey which always begins with data collection and then going through data visualization and real-time monitoring. We are going to data analysis, remote control, and automation. Then we can introduce machine learning and predictive models. It's very important to know what we want to achieve, what is our main goal. But it is even more important to understand where we are and how we want to get there. Our key specialty is retrofit. We want to take you on this journey without the need of costly upgrades. We have our Clever, we will hack it, we will use it to solve the problem. It will provide us with all the tools we need, even without complicated installations. What the technicians will get, it will be complete overview, what also means full transparency of device condition. They will get access into real-time graph and historic data. They will get a chance of predictive maintenance and instant alerts to reduce costly downtime. They will also have full and deep insight to identify the problems with cooling devices remotely. What we offer to users is upgrade of their cooling devices without large investments. gain full control and insight into all their cooling devices from one dashboard. They will save tons on manual diagnostics costs through preventive and predictive maintenance. And they will get a future-proof enclosure for smart savings and higher operational intelligence. Clever is the start ticket for future automation and sensors. We already have customers who would like to have overview over many of their assets, for example, many of their buildings, but they would like to have insight into any of them. They would like to analyze what's going on each floor, in each room. They would like to have data, measurements from each sensor and analyze it. Therefore, we feel comfortable to provide the system which will give you insight into the data at the level you need and on many different levels. And by we, I mean our entire team. Our CEO, Sjur Usken, who have been leading companies within telecom industry before. Our CTO, Johan Rasmussen, who have been scaling the products for millions of customers. We have many specialists and experts within their field. With our team, with our experience and our agile approach, we are ready to guide you step by step towards smart maintenance of cooling devices through electronic enclosures. Thank you very much.
So that was Greg Koval, and he's like, yes! He's all excited. Nice,
Yeah.
A nice presentation here. Daniel,
very
is that the length you're also going for? Just looking at you, I'm like,
It is, in fact, a very impressive beard, my friend. But,
besides the beard,
yes.
how was the presentation and what are your questions?
well, I'm intrigued. I find it quite interesting. And I have to ask, if you're a product evangelist, talk about traction. How many people have bought this product? How is it in the field? Give us traction numbers.
The very successful what was for us was Hannover conference in Norway at the beginning of this year. We had a lot of tractions from municipalities, from real estate owners, from actually across the Europe. Now we are at the process of signing up the contract, of sending the product. We already made our first pilot products. We have, for example, for Smart Factory, we already have a use case with a very satisfied customer who have increased the uptime by 7.5%.
But I have to interrupt you. Means so you have a lot of potentials, but you have one customer.
Oh no. We have one customer we base our use case on. This is the one I'm talking about. But yeah.
How many customers are you dealing with? Are we talking 10, 50, 500?
Oh no, it's not 500 yet. I think that we are closing to 10, 15 customers.
And you're owner-led, so your team owns the company.
Sorry.
Your team owns the company.
Yes, we have. It's part of the shares are by our chiefs, and part of the shares in investor hands. So I'm not 100% sure, but I think it's something like 70-30%.
Okay, angels or VCs? Both? Have you got VCs in it as well?
Both.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Who has a question? Please,
Steve Bashara.
Okay. So help me with what do I buy? What do I buy?
Yes.
Clever? Is that the product?
It's not. Yes, it is a product. Clever is a product which we are using for smart buildings. So this is the product. It is off-shelf to plug in, and we collect the data from the sensors which actually customer have already on the site.
Okay.
So yes.
Okay, good. So what I'm trying to understand is, when you look at the use cases that we're talking about, which is, a smart factory, you started with the goal of digital transformation. So the first thing that came to my mind is, okay, this is going to be 2 years, 3 years. What does that mean, digital transformation, to you? And then, how do I buy it? What do I get?
Mm-hmm. So the digital transformation in this case, or in case of our customer, was that we entered the stage when there was no digital information about the state of the machines, about what parts they are producing, if the machine is down or up. Sometimes it took 2 and 3 hours just to identify that the machine is not working. In that case, we install our solution, we collect the data, we start calculating uptime, downtime, but also we start presenting the data on the dashboard. So now, in the project room, there is a huge screen with all the map of all the factory showing what if the machine is working, if not, what type of a part it's producing or not. After a whole day, we can check what is the bottleneck machine. Maybe we should change the process. It's also a better way for them to start planning, because they have full understanding what is the time of the productions, what will be the key machines, and so on. So for us, this is this first step towards this digital transformation. Then when we have this data, we can start working with this data in many different ways.
Sorry, guys.
Thank you. Lucia?
So does your company have any like industry knowledge or focus on special industries?
What we are focusing on is we have two products. So when it comes to smart factory, we are obviously focusing on a smart factory. It's usually CNC machines. And when it comes to Clever, we are focusing on office buildings, on shopping centers, on real estates. And these are our main two focuses for smart factory and for Clever.
Okay. And do you already have some experience with MindSphere or build any other apps for any other companies?
We have experience with cloud, obviously, but I hope my CTO will not kill me. But I think we haven't been experimenting with a MindSphere on a bigger scale.
You did.
Yes, I have a question. You had actually a very interesting aspect. You talked about the installed bases in the field that is not as able to communicate yet. So that's why I liked your solution with the Clever. How exactly does it work? What are the prerequisites for installed units in the field that might not have the IoT capabilities of the new generation of products? What do you need in terms of data, or where does Clever come into play in the whole process of transferring the data?
So we are using the devices which are with our own software. So actually what we need is an internet connection. From it, we can do almost everything. So let's say if our customer would like to have a Clever, he just receives a box which he's supposed to plug in into the internet, plug in into the machine, and then we are doing the rest of the work. So we simply need to connect with the device, we need to extract the data and send it through internet. It can be a cable, it can be 4G, or we can work with the other solutions. Maybe you have something we can use. And then the data travels to our dashboard. And this is when we start working with the data and achieve all the next steps like remote controlling and automation, machine learning.
Jan, I have the feeling you're kind of edging to say something, but if I'm reading your face correctly.
One last question.
Okay. So how old is your company? And yeah.
We were established in January 2016.
Wow.
But our team is experienced, and for example, our CEO, like I mentioned, was leading companies within the telecom industry previously.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for the questions. Good luck. Greg Koval. And yeah, that was basically the pitch phase. Now we go into evaluation. That means our jury is going to take their time, about 5 minutes, to see who they think is best for our client Rittal. And I'd like to ask our teams back on stage now. Everybody from Trevisto, from WattX, and of course also from Smart Plants. Why don't you come back to us here one more time? There we go. And of course, we're going to give them a round of applause here for presenting, for being here, for giving us a nice insight into what you do. And maybe we can have the microphone right away. Now, for you at home, ladies and gentlemen, once again, the chance now to vote. Go to Siemens.com/vote now if you think Trevisto was the right team for you. Same if you think WattX was best, or Smart Plants. The winning team from the online voting will go to the next MindSphere conference in Berlin, which will be held in September. And there again, we'll have the chance to present their ideas and their solutions. Now, I'm just going to ask a few questions here. Oliver, for example, your experience here, you've been on stage here yesterday. How was it from yesterday being here on stage the first time to today? Well, did you feel a bit more comfortable, or?
Yes, indeed.
Yeah?
Absolutely. And Yeah, we are looking forward for the whole week to enjoy Hannover Messe and the Siemens MindSphere launch here.
One last chance to promote yourself here. Why do you think Trevisto is the right solution, or gives the right solution?
We have a broad experience in terms of big data warehousing, and using artificial intelligence in industry and other processes. So we're the data specialists, and you're going to vote for us, please.
Who are you rooting for tonight, the game, Bayern versus Real?
We're for Bayern Munich, I think, mainly. Yeah.
I hope that's not going to affect the voting, but it's good to know.
That's what you say.
So how about you, Greg? How was it for you? Was this your first time in general presenting, like pitching an actual idea?
To be honest, no.
No.
I've been pitching before, but I think that it is the biggest event I've been pitching so far. Yeah, it started well, I think, and it went smooth. The time was running out very fast. I even haven't realized when I've just finished.
Yeah, isn't that? Yeah. You started off and you're like, how am I supposed to get through 7 or 8 minutes? But you did that very nicely. So how's the Siemens MindSphere team been treating you? Are they nice to you? Sebastian Wolf and his team here, are they nice to you? Yeah.
Yes.
What else you want to say now, right?
Yeah, indeed. Yes. We'll wait for the results and then.
That's a good answer. Okay, how about our team over here? WattX, how did you enjoy it, Kata?
Enjoyed it a lot, especially the question, and I would definitely like to go deeper into discussion about it. It's really important for us to have more details about the solution so we can adjust it.
So you guys, you three together, are you basically a team also offside from the stage? Like, is this the way you work together on a daily basis, you three?
Exactly. So we have different projects, but on each project there is like a cross-functional team. So we always work together, UX, tech, data science. So we support each other to build the best solution.
You're Berlin-based, right? But you're also very, I suppose, very international backgrounds. Where are you from? Like, where originally?
So I'm from Poland.
All right.
Martin as well, and Pedro is from Portugal.
All right.
But in our office we have around 13 different nationalities.
Wow.
Yeah, so really international mix.
Very diverse.
Yeah.
Nice to get all that in there. Thank you also, once again. Is there anything you'd like to say, maybe also once again to our viewers out there? Why are you the best team?
Exactly. So we are offering holistic solutions. So not only focusing on tech, data, but we also have a really strong UX team. So we make sure the product is really serving the needs of the customer.
And Craig, of course, you also. One last statement on why they should vote for you.
I think what is our strong asset is that we don't want to push off sale of one product. We want to see what we have to work with, and then we will find the right solution, adapt our products we already have, hack them a little bit, use our experience, use our agile approach. Therefore, I think we are the best candidate for this kind of hackathon solutions.
All right, well, we'll see what the online community has to say. Once again, you also had the chance. I hope everybody used the chance. And I'm looking over to my assistant, a few more minutes, 1 or 2 more minutes until we have the actual voting. The jury is okay? No, you have it already. Okay, good.
Oh.
Then let's see. The online vote, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, our winning team will go to the MindSphere conference in September in Berlin. Chance to present themselves there once again. Goes to Trevisto.
Yay!
Online voting goes to Trevisto. Here are your tickets. There you go. All right, that was worth it. But now we're going to see and wait what the jury has to say. And I see our assistant over there telling us we have to go a bit longer since this is not an easy decision, as you can imagine. How about the audience? How did you enjoy the challenge here on stage? Is this something, is this something we could imagine doing in the future again from MindSphere here? Yeah? Simple answer, yes, I think so also. How about you? You've been watching a few challenges so far, haven't you? You've seen them yesterday?
Yeah, that was big time. Thank you very much. So great approaches, and I love the approach how to present everything and having the big screen there as well. I see lots of activity online. seeing,
Absolutely.
getting feedback from my LinkedIn account as well. So it's great.
Cool. Awesome.
Yeah,
And where do we go if we want to see the MindSphere Lounge? The MindSphere Lounge is upstairs, right? Open for everybody?
Yeah, open for everybody. Just go up there. We have lots of partners, customer use cases, and of course the team of MindSphere. So you can talk to the guys who produce MindSphere. So
Exactly.
Go for it.
If you want to take the chance, now's the chance. So looking over to our jury once again, they're still in discussion here. Okay, but it looks like they're getting ready to come back to the stage. So once again, I hope everybody outside enjoyed it as much as we did here on stage. I know our candidates don't really get the opportunity. I mean, this is really a great opportunity to be able to present not only in front of the jury, but also to our online community. Like we said before, we have a lot of people watching. So what better chance to get to represent the company? And here comes our jury once again. How was the discussion you just had? Probably not that easy, was it? Steve, may I ask you?
No, I mean, I think it's never easy because I think all the teams were very good.
Right.
And they all have a slightly different approach, which I think is a good thing.
Which is what this is about. And I'd like to hand the word over to Daniel. But let's bring him on stage with a big round of applause. Daniel Cronin, head of the jury here this time.
Thank you so much.
See?
See?
Did you ever get an applause like that before? Ever received an applause?
Maybe once or twice before.
Maybe once.
Potentially also 15 times, 20. But
Probably-
anyhow, I'm
probably
loving
more
the
often.
passion here. Thank you so much for getting me on stage. And sorry for having kept you wait so long.
Oh, don't worry.
You as well.
I was in good company here.
Good man. So, as you noticed, it wasn't the easiest discussion because we had a very, very, very close fit. And at the end of the day, it's always a view of perspective. And we discussed and discussed. And the scoring was super, super, super tight. I think at the end of the day, how shall we say, it was a 4-5 decision. 4 was one at front, someone else was against it. That was okay. We quite liked the hand-on approach. We quite liked the very open way some of the answers were also given. We liked a certain closeness to the industry. So,
okay.
Shall we announce the winner?
Let's go for it.
Yes? Yes, oh, I'm loving the excitement here. That's
they're all nervous, man.
We win all the time, whatever.
Anyhow, and the winner.
Oh, can we get some atmosphere in the room here?
And the winner is What X. Congratulations, What
X.
So that's the part where you step up front. Right this way.
Come to the stage. Come to the front of the
Congratulations,
stage.
and I'd like to ask our customer to join us as well.
Exactly.
Well done. You get to hold this, put it in the middle, and now comes the trickiest part. Look that way and look happy.
Excited, happy, anxious. This is exciting. The next step,
seemingly, but they seem to be used to winning, but they have to stay used to it. And yeah, maybe you also want to say a couple of words, Judith. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, you've pointed out that it was a very close decision, but what we liked about your approach, as I said in my question as well, that you looked at the use case from the starting point to the end. So we liked how you took the case apart and offered a solution for all of the aspects that we were looking at. Yeah, so thanks for that.
So the next steps will be them getting together and talking a bit about what to do. I mean, like we said, you don't marry at the first date, right? Usually.
Great ventures usually start with the coffee.
That's how we go. So thank you once again to all participants. Congratulations to our winners. It's been fantastic having you all on stage here. I hope you enjoy the rest of the day. And that also means for you, ladies and gentlemen, if you have further questions, our teams, Smart Plant, our team from Trevisto, our team from WattX are still here the entire day at their spaces to answer any questions you have. So use the chance, go visit them, and just throw your questions at them. So that was the Open Space Challenge number 1 for today. We'll be back again at 2 o'clock with another challenge, another client, and then I'd like to welcome you again. But stick around. We're going to continue seamlessly here on stage with our next presentation. Now I got to get my little information cards. Somebody, I suppose, just put away. I guess somebody took my cards. Did you take them? By any chance? Oh yeah, there we go. These are the ones I need now.